Alright, so welcome back everyone to another episode of Planet Nomads. I am here getting a little bit closer to the equator. You see, that's the equator right there. I'm here at the edge of that landmass I found last time with the superbug. And it's just a big savanna type, you know, mesa, desert. I don't know what this count says. What am I at right here? Let me see. A prairie. The big prairie. And as you can see, way down below, I don't even know if I can hit them from here, how far this travels. Either I'm missing or they're acting like it doesn't bother them. For a laser rifle, it has a very short firing range. Is it just me or do they not look like the demo dogs in Stranger Things? You know, season 2? All that, and I got only 16 Gadillo trophies on that run. So that puts me up to 31. I actually will be close to being able to make a trophy for that finally. So I'm flying over the area I saw last time that when I landed, and just from a short little look, the way it appeared was kind of like a dry riverbed. And looking at it now, despite the lagging and stuttering aspect with all the extra rocks generating in, it does look like a riverbed, like a dried riverbed. Like here's where the river was going along, and then down that way was the one tributary, and then it goes around a little small island there and keeps going. It looks like it was a riverbed that dried up here. And that is one of the cool things I like about some of the terrain stuff in this game, is because it gives you things like that, that it's there, and it's not just, oh, it's another part of a plane. It looks like there was water there at one point. So this design that I'm testing out now is the Deuterium Floating Factory Base by Imuniser. And it really is just simply that. It's a floating factory for producing deuterium. And as you can see, we've got some lighting, so I thought it'd be nice to go ahead and show it at nighttime. A nice set of stacks. So we're looking at 15 per side. Or no, not 15. That's 18 per side, yeah. So that's 36 total autonomous water purifiers. And then we have 8 water pumps. And I know I've seen it where basically with the water pumps, one pump balances out to about 5-ish, almost 5, not quite 5 autonomous water purifiers. So that looks to be pretty much right around the balancing point. And so we just basically have that. You come in. Oh, of course, it's got no deuterium in it right now. Well, that's a bit of a problem. All right, here we go. 3 deuterium in there. So 2 hours and 50 minutes with 3 deuterium packs in there. It's already set up for, yeah, obviously it was set to 999,999 or 99,999 during the build process, and some was used to test it and then it wasn't reset, but it's still almost 100,000 for it to produce there. It's not going to produce quite that much in the end because the factoring is off a little bit for how much these are producing. That's 999,000. That's 999,000. I think, yeah, that one got shortchanged a little bit, only about 900,000 less than the other ones. And one thing I like about this design that caught my attention, beyond the idea I had of a deployable design, much like my little mining rig that I just drop off temporarily and then collect it, take it with me, this is actually a very cheap design in the end to build. This is really just the autonomous water purifiers, which means you need a lot of fabric and carbon to make those. Oh, well, fabric because of the floating foundations, and then carbon for the purifiers. But beyond that, it's really nothing fancy. It's something that's easy enough to produce and leave at different points. So I have that there. And I'll make sure that is the right one. Deuterium plant, desert oasis. So I have a marker for it. B for base, perfect. And it's basically just one I can leave. So let's say I'm moving along. I come back around here eventually. I can stop by and grab a lot of deuterium. Now, if you really want to, you could use the connection like I have here, where I could actually go and have it pump stuff from there, you know, make use of it. But that would really work a lot better if we had a hopper type mechanism, something that would pull one direction the materials. That way you could have it where it's connected to the deuterium production and storage side, and have it that I just, you know, you line up and it just pulls all the deuterium from the production chain out and into your vehicle. Maybe we'll get that at some point. I really have my fingers crossed, because we need something like that. Just a simple hopper like the way we have in Minecraft. Okay, that is kind of worrisome. I can't even get up that hill. It's not getting me up that hill, which is kind of a problem. Let's see, what is it? It's set to speed. So we're going to set it to power, because speed, I could just use the... oh, that's set to power already. Okay, so we had 2 set to speed, 2 set to power. Well, it wasn't enough power to get me up this hill. And that is not a big hill. Look at that thing. That's just pathetically small, and it still isn't going. I like the idea of the wheels and the quick conversion from flying to just driving, but they can't even make it up a small little sand dune like that. It needs a little bit more power. So in just a little bit of time, I'm already up to 46 hours of power production because of deuterium production running on this thing. I remembered right. That was the master monument right here, the main one. The one where I had to come and, you know, turn all 4 things into, from orange to blue. And I set up with the black toad over there. I remember that. I was parked over there with some water and mining production going at one point. So yeah, that is right here. There is my base area, that spot over there. So it's a good distance away. And then this is where the space station's at. With all that quick traveling I did, this has already produced way more deuterium than I would have gotten in 5 times as much time just using what I've been using on the space station design. So definitely a very good and cheap option for deploying. Now this is again the Deuterium Factory Floating Base. It's one of those orientations, Deuterium Floating Factory or Deuterium Factory Floating, and it's by Imuniser, but it's actually a rework of an original design from Andreas. The difference is with Andreas, it uses posts to mount it into the ground in the water, and this uses the floating platforms with good balancing. So instead of having to mount it with posts all the way down into whatever ground below, you could actually just put this in where there's water that is sufficiently wide enough and have a free-floating, self-sustaining deuterium facility. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode of Plant Nomads. I'm going to sit here and let the Deuterium Factory Floating Base do its thing, produce a lot of deuterium, and then I'm going to leave it here so I can use it as a stopping point when I come back through this area if I ever do. And I'm just going to keep moving on, heading towards the South Pole at that point. But yeah, that's it for this episode. So if you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I'll see you in the next video.